This victory alone is not the change we seek. It is only the chance for us to make that change. And that cannot happen if we go back to the way things were. It can't happen without you, without a new spirit of service, a new spirit of sacrifice. So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other. Let us remember that if this financial crisis taught us anything, it's that we cannot have a thriving Wall Street while Main Street suffers. In this country, we rise or fall as one nation, as one people. Let's resist the temptation to fall back on the same partisanship and pettiness and immaturity that has poisoned our politics for so long. Let's remember that it was a man from this state who first carried the banner of the Republican Party to the White House, a party founded on the values of self-reliance and individual liberty and national unity. Those are values that we all share. And while the Democratic Party has won a great victory tonight, we do so with a measure of humility and determination to heal the divides that have held back our progress. As Lincoln said to a nation far more divided than ours, we are not enemies, but friends. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. And to those Americans whose support I have yet to earn, I may not have won your vote tonight, but I hear your voices. I need your help, and I will be your president too.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't worry about a thing. That's easier said than done, isn't it? I love this song. This is The Sounds of Blackness with Roger Troutman. This was the jam too, man. I used to love this song. Still do. Very inspirational. Check it out. Listen to this first verse.
Yesterday, a man stepped to me and said, how can you smile when your world is crumbling down? I said, in my secret, when I wanna cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by, and I hold
Yeah.
change is coming.
Come on, y'all. You know you out there grooving. You gotta get up and dance to this one. They used to bump this one back in the clubs when I was a kid. Anyway, what's up, everybody? I'm glad you guys decided to tune in for today's installment of the Real Talk Radio Show. Glad to have your presence. Glad to have your ear. Hey, where were you guys the night President Barack Obama got elected? How did you guys feel when you heard his election night address? You remember the pride you felt? You remember the sense of anticipation that things were going to be better? I mean, we just come out of 8 years of an administration that appeared to be absolutely clueless, in my opinion. And, you know, I don't want to offend my Republican listeners, but this is just my opinion. I thought we came out of 8 years of an administration that did not have a clue. And I felt good. I did. I felt real good. And I didn't feel good simply because we elected a black president, but I felt good because we finally had someone smart in the White House. Someone who we thought was going to look out for our best interest. That's what I thought. And that was a watershed moment for me. That was a watershed experience. I've often talked to my mom and dad, and both say they can remember where they were the day they found out Dr. King had got assassinated. They can remember the day, the time, what they were doing. The same thing about JFK. My mom said she could remember what she was doing when she got word that JFK had gotten assassinated. I've only had a few watershed experiences in my life. I can remember the first. I can remember where I was when I was notified that my grandfather had passed. I can remember what I was doing. I was at Tennessee State University. I was sitting in my dorm room. I mean, I can literally remember hearing the phone ring. I can remember watching the wrestling. The next watershed experience is where I was when I found out my grandmother had gotten killed. I'm sorry, my grandmother had passed. I can remember what I was doing, the exact time. Another watershed experience is I can remember where I was when the Twin Towers were attacked. And I can also remember where I was the night President Barack Obama got elected. I can remember that feeling. I literally didn't know that I was boo-hooing. I was crying. I was at an election night party, and I literally had tears streaming down my face. This girl gave me some tissue. I didn't realize I was crying. But that was a very emotional moment for me, and I remember how I felt. I remember the optimism I had. Can't quite say I feel that way now. And it's not a result of Obama's failures. It's just a result of other things. It's a result of a whole gang of things, man. I thought that we'd look beyond race. You know what I'm saying? I thought we would look beyond class. I thought that Obama had the potential to bring about change with respect to how we view one another in terms of socioeconomics, but I don't know. I'm not as optimistic as I used to be. And I'm kind of disappointed that the president isn't stronger. He's not a stronger leader. In my opinion, the president just seems to allow people to beat up on him without fighting back, and it's never a good thing. You don't cower down the bullies. But in any event, we're going to get off into that a little bit later on. But on today's show, people, we're going to talk about what we've learned from the Shirley Sherrod episode. What we've learned from Miss Sherrod and the whole scandal surrounding her ouster at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Of course, if you aren't living underneath a rock, everybody listening to this program, you've heard about Miss Shirley Sherrod, right? You've heard about Andrew Breitbart. You've heard about Fox News. You've heard about the NAACP versus the Teabaggers, or the Tea Party, rather. So we're going to talk about all that today. We're going to talk about race and what we've learned from Miss Sherrod's ouster. But today's show is brought to you by Hattie's Tamales, 3576 Curry Parkway in Memphis, Tennessee. Go by, check out Hattie's Tamales. They have the best food in the world. They have beef tamales, they have chicken tamales, they have pork tamales. Absolutely fantastic. So go by, see Chauncey, tell Chauncey that Craig D sent you by. Alright? Okay, look, my intro for today's topic is going to be a little bit different, okay? But this is actually the intro to things we learned from the Shirley Sherrod episode, okay? So you guys just bear with me for a moment. But I think I finally figured out what's wrong with our country, what's wrong with our political system. I think I finally figured it out. And I've been doing a lot of thinking and researching since the whole Shirley Sherrod fiasco. I did not know that there are no educational requirements in order for you to become, or in order for me to become, an elected representative of this great land of ours. I'm almost embarrassed to say that, but I did not know that. I didn't know you don't need any sort of formal education whatsoever. In fact, you don't need any sort of formal education to be the president. According to the Constitution, the only thing you need, Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution says that you have got to be 35 years of age and a 14-year resident within the United States. That's pretty much it. That's all you need in order to be the president of the United States. I didn't know that. And in fact, there have been numerous presidents that did not have degrees at all. George Washington didn't have one, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Grover Cleveland, Harry S. Truman. None of these guys had degrees. You guys know that? None of them had degrees. In order to be a U.S. Senator, you need to be 30 years old. You must have been a citizen of the United States for at least 9 years.